everybody? How you doing today, everybody? And welcome to the latest edition of Drew Mania Live. Nice to have you with us for this Tuesday, the 3rd day of October, the year 2017. And of course, this is Andrew Perry coming alive and at you, where this is your one-way sports talk. Thanks for tuning in. Wherever you are, we have plenty. This is baseball fever tonight, because the NL Wildcard is getting underway as the New York Yankees host the Minnesota Twins. Is one of those time of the year that when playoff baseball is here, the atmosphere will be electric. The last time, but before I preview the Minnesota Twins, I want to get a little personal. I want to give a shout out to my dad. Wish my dad a very happy birthday. Down in North Carolina, even though I love him dearly, and we still talk and stuff like that. So, Dad, if you're listening, happy birthday, man, and enjoy the rest of your birthday. Because I know I would have a little nice wine and stuff like that. Sit back and watch the baseball. So I just want to let you know. I just want to throw that out there right now. But nonetheless, that's what's going on tonight as the Yankees and the Twins will play, and the winner of that game will face the Cleveland Indians, who, by the way, have who have home field advantage throughout the American League playoff and through the NLCS. And for the Yankees, before we talk about the Twins, let's start with the Yankees. Look how far the Yankees have come last year. The last time the Yankees the Yankee team, even though it was a different team back then, they was in a wild card. They was in a wild card against a very good Houston Astros team, and they had Dallas Clark, and it was just a nail bite. It was just bite your nail. Do we have a shot? And in the result, it turned out to not have a shot. As let's put it this way: the air was basically out of the balloons as the Astros beat the Yankees. Well, this atmosphere is different, as the Yankees are very confident, and rightfully so. Let's face it, they own the Minnesota Twins. They are 12-2 against this team, and if I'm not mistaken, they never lost at all the meetings in the playoffs. They never lost against the Minnesota Twins. Just hope tonight is not the night, because in the playoffs, a lot can happen. Now, speaking of the Twins, this is the first time the Minnesota Twins have made the playoffs since 2008. Almost 9 years since this, and let me add you, this is the first time they have made the playoffs since the Metrodome has been since they played their final game at the Metrodome. So think about that for a second. But this Minnesota team is no slouch. They have a really good bullpen, and on the mound tonight, 2 good pitchers, I should say. It should be a pitching match, but all MLB playoff games, let's be honest, it's been a pitching matchup. Luis Severino for the Yankees and Ervin Santana. Ervin Santana is a very, very good pitcher and a very good bullpen. Here's what you look at first. If you're a first time watching playoff baseball, whoever gets to the bullpen first, 9 out of 10 times will win the game. Which I call it, who's going to blink first? Better word for it. Who's going to blink first? And whoever blinks first, I think will have a chance to win that game. And the question also is what Aaron Judd going to do? Because he had a tremendous first half of the year. He slumped a little bit, but he fought. The way he answered back later on, towards the final week, or the final month of the MLB season, he really stepped it up, and that's why the Yankees are in the position they're in, because of Aaron Judge and the offense as well as Gary Sanchez, and Gary Sanchez hit home runs and stuff like that. And it's gonna be a real. I expect to be a very. I expect it to be a low scoring game. Probably one of those 2-1 games. Pitching duels might go to extra innings. It's possible it could go extra innings. When they get. Are we gonna get the same game? Are we gonna get an unforgettable game we had last year with Baltimore against Toronto in the wild card? We'll see. Because these wild card games, let me tell you, some of them are great. Majority of them are great, and I've been watching baseball for a long time, and there's nothing like the MLB playoffs, especially if your teams are involved. The fans are into it. And it should be a lot of fun. It really should. I'm really looking forward to it. I will sit on my. I would be wherever I sit, glued into the TV. Okay, I would. Now, as for the Twins, I'm not gonna lie to you folks. I didn't expect the Twins to make the playoffs. I did not expect the Twins to, and nobody would. But to have it, they wasn't even close to winning the Central, because the Indians was running away with that division by double digits, 11 games or something like that. But the point is, Paul Molitor deserve, in my opinion, the best manager of the year, because he did a phenomenal job of keeping this team, making this team compete. Remember, this Minnesota Twins, and let me add this: Joe Mauer is still on this team. Remember, Joe Mauer, and even though he played first base, he was the first catcher to win a batting title back in 08 or 07. One of those years. But he's the first catcher to ever win the batting title. So let's keep that in mind. And even Joe Mauer would tell you, this is getting to the playoffs. It doesn't matter if it's a wild card or a division series, even a National League Championship series. You don't take that for granted, because it's hard to get to the playoffs. Ask Joe Girardi. It's not easy. And either team, if they lose tonight, yes, it will hurt, but it's just, I look at it as this: it's a success. It's a first step on the right direction of probably getting to the next level, and so forth. But the Yankees. Here's my keys. I'm gonna move on to the keys of the game. For the Twins, if the Twins gonna win this game, they have to not just slow down the Yankees' bats, but maintain it. Make Judd out of his comfort zone, or mess up his timing. Because the biggest problem Judd had earlier this year, and y'all guys know, his timing was not. He's not that disciplined in the play. He's not that disciplined off the plate. Yes, he hit a lot of home runs, but Judd was not that disciplined. His mindset was to hit home runs, but it has a timing. But later on, as I said before, as I said later on in the show, that his timing got much better as the games go along. And the only way the Twins is going to win, I think, is going to make him swing out a lot of pitches. Do not put a fat pitch. Obviously, not in the middle of the plate, but let him chase some breaking balls. Or if you're going to go for a fastball, you got to be careful how you go at him, because his reach is unbelievable. If you really think about it, for a big man, 6'7", I don't know how much he weighs, but he has, for a big man. Can you imagine pitching to Aaron Judge tonight? If you're Evan Santana, and you gotta be like, man, what I have to do to get to strike out this guy? What I have to do? Seriously, what the heck I have to do? And it's gonna be a tall order, but that's why we watch the games. As for the Twins, I have to admit, I didn't watch the Twins all that much this year. I didn't watch them all this year because, but I think Joe Miles is going to be the key. I think Miguel Soto, if I'm saying it right, he has to be the key. He's going to have to be the, but who's going to be the young son hero? But the weird question that just popped into my mind just now, and come to think of it, who's going to be the young unsung heroes? Because that's what the playoffs is about. Who's going to be that unsung hero? And the more we discuss it, and the more we figure it out, and the more you watch the game, because let's face it, folks. When you watch, I don't care how old you are, when you watch these MLB postseasons, there's always a guy come out of nowhere and just give a team a spark, just like that in the postseason. It happens. It happens. Now back to the Twins. They bullpen is the Twins. I think they got they have a very good lineup. Similar as the Yankees, very good lineup. Miguel Soto, even though a big threat in the lineup. Joe Mauer, he's not the same Joe Mauer in the past, but he'll still get the job. He still can get the